Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy Jack. Let me talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Have you ever been in a conversation or a debate with somebody and there's people on the sidelines watching? And you're in this heated debate and you're making points and you know somebody on the sideline agrees with you, but they're afraid to say something. They're afraid to stand up. And then after the debate is done, whether you won or whether you lost, whether you heard the other person's side or not, the person on the sideline comes to you and they're like, wow, you know what? I was gonna say something, but this, and that, A, B, and C, I didn't really feel like it was my place. I thought you were doing a good job on your own, so I just let you have it. That is a picture of what's happening with men in our society right now. Men are weak. There's a lot of complaints that you can make with women. There's a lot of them, and a lot of them are warranted. Women today have full-heartedly, especially in the black community, took this feminism to level 101. They really believe they're as strong as men physically. They believe they can do whatever men do. They believe that God created them to do exactly what men have done, I'm talking about even in the Christian church, they believe this. They believe they have a right to have authority over men, even though the Bible explicitly says that is not the case. We can talk about these things, but let me talk about what I'm here to do, and that is encourage men to be men. You cannot sit back and complain about women when you're not getting in the fight. There's men that have a right to, men like myself, who have taken the mantle and said, you know what, I'm going to lead my family in the way that God meant me to lead my family, even if they try to kill me, even if the government try to come and stop me, even if my job tells me, no, I can't say that, I'm going to say it anyway. There's men like me who deserve the right to speak on things. Then there's men who just want to complain. And those men make me sick because they're on the sidelines, not in the battle, but they want to complain about what women do. They want to talk about, oh man, women these days, oh my gosh, am I right? No, you're not right because you're not standing up in your own home. When your wife tells you to do something, you say, yes, dear, even though you know it's wrong. I don't want to hear from those type of men. I don't want to hear no complaints if you're not standing up in the fight. If you're not going to lead your household in the way that is right no matter what, and say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, I don't want to hear no sissy boy complaints. And I mean that. What's happening right now is I hear so many men, young and old, so many weak men. They will come and say, you know what's going on in the world is so crazy. You know what? I can't find, there's no women out here. And then you look in their life and they're living in their mom's bedroom, or they're living in their mom's basement, in their mom's house. They got a part-time job and they play video games all day. They don't work out. They don't try to look good. They don't even shower every day. You look at men like that and they think they deserve for life to come to them and give them everything they think they should have. They think beautiful women should just come and be bending and falling over themselves to sleep with them. If you a loser, you need to acknowledge you a loser. And I'm talking about that from a biblical standpoint. Let me put it this way. What does the Bible say? Everything you do to the glory of God. Everything. So you cannot sit up in life and be a loser, not achieving what God called you to be, not on the purpose that God gave you in your life, and think things are going to come to you and life is just going to be great. You got to work hard. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing. That means you got to be on the hunt to find her. She ain't going to come to you while you sitting in your mom's basement. If you a loser, acknowledge you a loser and get better. At one point in time, I was a loser. I would say around the age of 18, I was working a dead-end job, not expecting anything more until like something clicked in my head where I said, hey, this ain't going to work for me. I am not, inside of me, I'm not a loser. I got to go out and achieve. I got to get in shape. I started working out every day. Got into lifting weights. Got into all these different things that made me better. Achieve, try to get more money. Money is not the goal of life, but realize if you're going to have a family and you're going to have a wife one day, and if you want your wife to be working and staying beautiful and these things, you're going to need some money. This is not about prosperity gospel. We'll talk about that another day. I'm talking about men achieving more. Do not be stagnant. Do not care do not be okay with where you're at. If you are a man, You are supposed to have a goal in life. Every man should have a goal. I'm not saying you got to have the same goal as me. Maybe your goal is writing a book. Maybe your goal is saving up and putting something in your savings account so your kids can live a better life. Maybe your goal is paying for your own college tuition or your kids' college tuition. Maybe your goal is buying a house and being financially stable and buying some more apartments and getting some residents that or houses you can flip. Maybe your goal is starting your own business, but you need long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. Too many men are so weak. And let's talk about this on the spiritual aspect. So many men will come to me. They know I'm outspoken. And that's how I've always been. And that's how it's going to be. So when I speak on these things with zeal and passion, they say, yeah, we agree with you. Yeah. You know what? You're right about that. You should talk to this person. You should do that. You should go and challenge this evil. And I'll be looking back like, well, what are you doing? I'm not the only fighter in this war. If you going to be standing with me in the war, then fight with me. I get sick of people saying, yeah, I'm a Christian. I believe the same things you say. And then when you look on their timeline, when you look what they say in their life, when you look in their own marriage, they have none of the principles you have. Yeah, man, I believe men should be strong. And then you see them at home and their wife say, you know what? I'm going to go on a business trip with a bunch of men and come back in a week. You take care of the kids. And they say, yes, dear. Yeah, that's okay. Okay with me. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. No problem with that. Yeah. And then you look at them like, you ain't the same as me. That's not to say you'll never be there, but you have to acknowledge where you are and your weaknesses and become stronger. Because there's certain things I don't let fly in my house. I don't tolerate disrespect from my kids. I don't tolerate disrespect from my wife. I don't tolerate disrespect from anybody. And this is the problem. Men have no principles anymore. So when we walk around with life, people get so scared. Why is the government doing this? Why are they taking away our rights? Because you didn't stand up. You didn't stand up and you didn't fight back. You didn't show them you was a man. And men are so weak nowadays that it's like asking them to do that. It's like, me? What am I supposed to do? What, little old me? What am I supposed? I mean, when I tell my wife, she just gets mad. She might take away the kids. She might do. Shut up. Be a man and take the cost of whatever you stand up for. Your principles are more value than all that stuff. You say, well, I won't have a family if I really stand up to my wife and she gets up and leaves me. Then first of all, you chose the wrong woman. You chose a woman that didn't submit to you. Second of all, you need to stand up and have principles no matter what anybody else do. I don't give a crap whether she leave you or not. If God called you to do something and she leaves you because you called to do something that God told you to do, then let her leave. Let her leave. Because guess what? If God calls you to do it, he's going to give you the strength to do it. That don't mean be bullheaded and be a butthead about it. And then just go along and go along. Pray about it. Ask God, seek his word, seek the wise counsel of other people. But if you know something that God put in your heart to do, and your family is against you, I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, anybody who tells you to go against God's will that you know for a fact is right, that it says and you can be backed up by his word, then let that person be accursed. They have nothing to say to you. For instance, if somebody tells you, you should call your kids whatever gender they want to be called, you don't have a right to tell them that. You should raise a boy as a boy and a girl as a girl. You should raise them as whatever fluid gender they want to be called. You should say no. I don't care what you have to say. I'm raising my boys to be strong men. I'm raising my girls to be strong, but also be submissive to their future husbands. I'm raising them to be women of God. I'm raising my boys to be men of God. And I'm not debating with you. And I don't care what you have to say. You come into my house and try to force me to do that, there will be force given back to you. And Christian men are scared to say these things nowadays. And it hurts my heart because it's like, people when they say, where have the real men gone? Yeah. The world is in the shape that it's in because real men did not stand up. And it's only a few of us left that are willing to die for what we believe. And that's sad. I heard a story from a friend of mine who said, yeah, I know this guy and he said he's a Christian, but he's not willing to die for the word of God. He doesn't, he really, if a gun was put to his head, he would say, you know what? I need to live for my family. I don't consider that person a man. To be real with you, if you are not willing to die for what you believe, if you are not willing to die for what Jesus Christ died for you, if you're not willing to give him back the measly life that he gave you, he saved you for all of eternity, and you're not willing to give it back, then do you really deserve the right to be calling yourself a Christian? Now understand, people like Peter denied Christ as well, yeah. And guess what? He was ashamed of that. And after that, he was filled with so much zeal that he was able to give his life. But as men, we need to be willing to fight, willing to live for something. It's not much more I can say than that.